Hello there and welcome to another edition of the program. I am Victor Matthias. Now, Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State sent a powerful memo to President Muhammadu Buhari arguing that the All Progressives Congress has made the situation in Nigeria worse than it met it by failing to be proactive and taking key decisions in a timely manner. According to an online media, the governor in a 30-page memo sent in September of 2016 said, quote, "In very blunt terms, Mr. President, our APC administration has not only failed to manage expectations of a populace that expected overnight change, but has failed to deliver even mundane matters of governance outside of our successes in fighting Boko Haram insurgency and corruption." Well, that's part of our focus on the program today. We will also take a look at a conference where kids are being taught how to code and create solutions using technology. But let's first take a look at the trending topics in the past week. The Senate again refused to grant the request of President Muhammadu Buhari to confirm Ibrahim Magu as the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for the second time, citing a report by the Directorate of State Services that says he failed an integrity test. The Director General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali retired, was refused audience by the Senate after he refused to wear the uniform of the paramilitary outfit during his visit to the upper chamber. That got many talking in both supporting and opposing tones. And Nigeria lost another soldier during battle in the northeast region of the country facing issues of insurgency. Tweets posted sympathizing with his family, friends, and wished luck to those still in battle. May his soul rest in peace. Now to the topic of the day. We are joined by a political scientist, Yahya Yakubu. Thank you for joining us. He joins us from the Federal Capital Territory, that's Abuja. Well, yeah, for you, the contents of the leaked memo to the President by Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai was the subject of discussion in most quarters in the past week. But then, what was your own reaction when you got to read this memo vis-a-vis what is going on at the moment?
Well, first of all, as a student of public policy, we would like to thank Malam Nasir El-Rufai for a wonderfully crafted out piece of memo. And considering the timing of the release of the memo, if I am to analyze this from a behavioralist perspective, I would say that the release is quite untimely in my perspective, because it is no news that Nigerians are not necessarily happy with the policies of the government, especially in the aspect of communication between the government and the people. We see that the economic plan was rolled out. We know little or nothing about the economic policies of the government. So the situation under which this memo was allegedly, according to some big wigs, in precise, a 7th senator in the APC from Kaduna, he claimed under a bulletin that on Sahara reporters that they are going to investigate and subsequently sanction the Malam Nasir El-Rufai for releasing such memo. While he fought on certain issues such as the relationship between the party leadership and the executive arm of government, I haven't heard of any recent situation whereby the party leaders came out publicly to make comments on their relationship with the presidency And on the issue of President Muhammadu Buhari being the only hope of Nigeria in the medium and short term and the saving grace for the northern Nigeria, I think Malam Nasir El-Rufai as a technocrat is overstretching the importance he placed on an individual rather than on the office of the president. You cannot say we have over 180 million people. We cannot authoritatively argue that Malam Nasir President Muhammadu Buhari is the only person that can salvage the economic situation that we face in Nigeria. Another issue that he raised that caught my eye was on the alleged appointment of incompetent person to the office of the chief of staff and secretary to the government. If you recall, some time ago there was a little bit of misunderstanding between Honorable Senator Shehu Usani and His Excellency Nasir El-Rufai, in which the senator accused the governor of not consulting with appropriate authorities appointment across the state. I don't think El-Rufai has any constitutional right to go to the party and as a governor of the Federal Republic to insinuate that the appointment, he as an individual can express his view, but in the position that he occupies and in the party and both in the country, I think it is very insensitive for him to publicly make such claims.
So of all that you just said now, which of these touched you the most?
There's a mixed feeling in my perspective about this memo that he talked about. One is the appointment paradox. The other one is the timely significance of this memo. In my opinion, it was well timed and Nigerians needed to know this thing, but we already know the situations on ground. Another issue that he claimed that the Yar'Adua led and Jonathan led between the Yar'Adua to the Jonathan administration squandered over $300 billion in revenue without nothing to show for it. I expected him to also mention the government preceding that, of which he was a part of, which had a lucrative amount of revenue from sale of oil. How much did he squander? How much did he could account for? You know, did he account for his time being the minister of FCC, or did anybody in other public offices come out to accuse him of appointing the wrong people to office? While this later was, for me, I have a mixed reaction when I read the memo. In the fact that he did mention the amount that was generated in the last administration and there was nothing to show for it, and he refused to mention the amount that was generated in the administration that he held a very key position of. Also, coming out publicly to discuss party issues such as this goes a long way to describe the low level of party discipline in Nigeria. Currently, APC is the only functional party. The other main opposition party are having a very serious leadership crisis, and this is the time for them to cement their ground. You know, but him coming out and disclosing internal party issues, it is very and it could be regarded as an anti-party behavior, and if necessary authorities deem it fit, they should sanction him for that. Also, while Malam Nasir El-Rufai took our time to write this wonderfully crafted piece, I suggest he would have taken out the time to address the Nigerians on what measures they have taken to stop the incident killings in southern Kaduna and how he has alleviated the socio-economic status of the average Kaduna citizen, rather than placing so much time and energy on criticizing the center of the government of which he is the beneficiary of.
Well, the timing of the release of this memo has been a subject of debate. Do you think there is an ulterior motive to its leak at this moment?
Well, there was a certain bulletin yesterday on the making the news that he leaked this memo to reporters. And as regards ulterior motive, well, himself, in his book, Accidental Civil Servant, he has mentioned that he himself is not a public servant and he found himself there accidentally. So, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, while he has done commendable job in the federal capital, I would say in the APC, not just in the APC, in the political scape of Nigeria, he has a very little followership or significance. If you pull out the public poll today in Kaduna between himself and a serving senator who resides in Abuja, there's a likelihood that those people are going to give popularity and acceptance among the populace. So even if there's an ulterior motive gearing up towards the 2019 election, I would say he's still learning the ropes in the Nigerian political arena for him to want to discredit the people of whom he wrote on their back to victory. He mentioned in the letter that he wrote on the back of Muhammad Buhari to be the governor of Kaduna State, and coming out to how will I say, discredit the effort, even though these efforts that are not necessarily satisfactory, coming out to discredit the little effort aimed at, bringing about a better standard of living for Nigerians. Quite unfortunate, actually. If he was in the opposition, I would say this is a very credible blow to the party, but he is keeping himself below the belt because he shouldn't expect the leadership of the party to place significant importance in saying it.
Well, the party and the president is even yet to respond, but an old saying goes, silence is golden. Do you think it is the case in this instance?
Well, it is a very sensitive issue, and it is not in my position to make predictions on issues that I have no some sort of internal knowledge about. But I would think that the ongoing conversation, considering the gravity of this letter, of which he also mentioned that come 2019, any other northerner that wants to run to get their money, and Buhari is the candidate to do so. And the president might not necessarily run from 24. El-Rufai has triggered some the party that is going to lead to certain consultation and possibly confrontations, of which we would like to hear in the next coming days or weeks. Hopefully, we would like to know. And also the non-response coming from the government has shown that our democracy, even though we are still struggling, growing in its own sense that citizens such as El-Rufai are allowed to express their views without fear of favor.
Well, going by the contents of the leaked memo, have you seen any difference since it was written and now that it has come to the fore?
Well, unfortunately, I will have to agree with Madam Nasir El-Rufai on that issue. The government has, taken times as regards other sectors that are Nigerians, even though while we expected which was not realistic. But the notion of in fighting corruption and insurgency, and the recent lack of any vandalization of pipelines, which was a resultant consultation of cabinet members of this current government, besides the Osibando-led acting government in that point in time, shows that if given the right opportunity under the right circumstances with the right people in charge, there is likely to be a lot of there are likely to be a lot of achievements for the government, because I don't think the president takes the credit alone for the achievement of this government, and the vice president himself has come out to publicly declare that while he spearheaded this consultation, the president before going ahead to do this thing. So while there's no much to say, in the last 2 months, we have noticed a very huge remarkable difference in our economic growth. There's in inflation level, we haven't seen this. The value of Naira is strengthening by the day. We haven't heard of any vandalization. And so I would like to say Malam El-Rufai may have said certain things that suffice between September to end of early January, but up until now, I think there are significant changes in the economy.
Well, thank you for your perspective on this issue. Yahaya Yakubu, lecturer of political behavior at Nile University, as well as a PhD candidate. Thanks for coming on the program, but we take a quick break, and when we return, we will head to the Teens Conference on Coding. Stay with us.